let's get started. Your theme of the month is the Fool, which is good. This is new beginnings. This is potential. This is being fearless, coming out confidently. So I don't know about you, Cancer, but one of my signs is Cancer, my sun sign actually, and I'm very much a Cancer. And I don't know about you, but there's been like a shift, and I don't know if it's because Mercury is going into retrograde, I believe, on the 3rd of December. So we know that things are coming up and changing, but I don't know. I've had definitely a lot of shifts in energy in my life. I don't know about you. But again, having the Fool come up as the theme of the month card, I'm perfectly happy with, because the Fool is the beginning of the tarot deck, right? So this is the first card. It's 0, as you can see. So it is the beginning of starting something new, or starting a new cycle, or starting, new beginnings, new opportunities, and kind of approaching things fearless. So whether you're single or looking to reconcile, this is definitely a new beginning for both. Doesn't even have to be new. I shouldn't say that, because if you're looking to reconcile, well, it would be considered a new beginning if, that's what's in the cards for you. So let's see what we have going on this month for December. All right, so your first card is your current position coming into the month, and you have the Ace of Cups. And I laugh just because that's the beginning of the Cups, which is the beginning of water signs, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. So definitely some beginnings, some new things coming into play here, Cancer. If you're single, this is new beginnings of love, new beginnings of friendship, excitement. This is one of the best cards of the deck. The next card coming would be the Two of Cups, which is people consider the twin flame or soulmate card. So not a bad place to start December, Cancer. And some of you, I'm sure, are going to be like, Dark Dove, I don't even know anybody. I'm not talking to anybody. The pretense of this is that's what you believe in. That's what you're manifesting. That's what you're going to put out into the universe. And of course, that's what you're hoping to receive back. So the Ace of Cups is your mindset. It's your current position. Plus, keep in mind, I'm also doing this, 5 days before the beginning of December. So, hey, maybe tomorrow. No, but anyways, if you're single, this is definitely a good mindset to be in. It's a good place to be in. It says that you're balanced. You know what you want. You know what you're looking for. And ultimately, you're ready for it. You're ready for love. If you're looking to reconcile, this is also a beginning, but this could be friendship, or this is excitement. Maybe you're talking to somebody and the communication's been open. So this person that you separated from, and for some of you, it's been a while. I don't feel like this person is somebody you haven't talked to in like a week or two. This is somebody you haven't talked to in like 5 months. And they're either communicating with you or you're communicating with them, but there's a little bit of excitement here. Now, you're not fully ready to come out of your shell and, embrace it, but you're thinking, hey, there might actually be an opportunity here. Either they came back kind of approaching everything differently and it seems like a new perspective, or they're going to, this is a big opportunity if it is somebody you're looking to reconcile with. And I have to apologize. I don't think I've apologized to any other sign yet, but I am a rat. I train rats, or I have in the past. And recently my son talked me into adopting 2 baby girl rats they're teeny tiny babies that were going to be, kind of tossed to the side or whatever. And I was asked to take them in, and they're running around in their cage right now, and there's like a little wheel in it, although I take it out when they get older. Anyways, so you're going to hear that throughout the read because I can hear it. So I'm assuming you can hear it. So if you hear squeaking or like running, it's 2 baby girl rats that I adopted so that nothing bad would come to them. And they are very hyperactive in the evening. So bear with me on that. Hopefully you can hear me over that. You'll hear them kind of squawk at each other too sometimes. And they're actually like 2 rooms over, so I'm surprised I can hear them as loud as I can. But they're little, they're having fun, so what can you do? The Ace, if you're looking to reconcile, like I said, could be a new beginning with this person. And I feel like for a lot of you, it's somebody you haven't talked to in a long time, like I said before. So, sorry, goodness. So, I feel like this is a new opportunity. And maybe it's somebody you've already moved on from, that you've already started dating, but they've always been kind of in the back of your mind, kind of in the back pocket, that if they ever came back, you'd entertain that idea. And I feel like you may hear from them this month. I feel like for some reason, the water signs have kind of had this invitation coming to them from somebody from the past. All right, the next card you have is anything on your mind coming into the month of December. So anything, hopes, fears for the month of December coming in that may help or hinder the Ace of Cups. And we don't want anything hindering that because it's beautiful. And you have death. And no, it's not a literal death. Nobody's dying. I don't want to say that because I'm sure somebody's going to message me and be really upset and say somebody passed away. And for that, I apologize. But this is more of... especially because it's internal, this is change, transformation. This is rebirth. So you're definitely changing, Cancer. You're changing your attitude on love. You're changing your faith in love, your hope in love. Maybe it's nostalgia of the holidays. Maybe it's not. But this has, and these are actually very beautiful together, right? Because with change brings new beginnings. So if you're changing the way you feel about love, the way you think about love, the way you approach love, if you're single, if you're dating, I feel like some of you aren't even doing the dating side. Some of you are just kind of taking your time. You're hoping that maybe it manifests more tangibly, or like through a friend, or, maybe you're going to go to a get together or a holiday party or something. And you're going to meet people through other ways. And I feel like you've been kind of, you still believe in love, and it's heightened, and something inside of you has changed, almost like you're ready to accept it. But you also know what you need to do too, because let's face it, it always takes two people for a relationship to work. And so I think you've been working on yourself and making changes, and you're coming out, almost rebirthed in, okay, I'm ready. Like I said, I wanted X, Y, and Z, but maybe I wasn't acting like that's what I wanted. Maybe, whether you're female or male, as a Cancer, you were, I want somebody who doesn't just want me for my body, or doesn't want me just for physical, right? But then you'd have those physical relations with them. And you know who you are. There's people out there who understand exactly what I'm talking about. You would have a physical relationship with them, but then wonder why they weren't wanting to proclaim their love for you, right? And not all of you, and it doesn't have to be just the physical. It could be too that you were like, well, I want to take things slow. And then you were like ready to plan, where you guys were going to live together, if that makes sense. So I think you're coming in a little more even keel, going, okay, yes, I've had some crappy ass people entertain the idea of dating me or wanting to be with me. But at the same time, I understand now that maybe I was giving the wrong people signs that I was interested. And now you're kind of like holding out for what's good for you. If you're looking to reconcile, this is, these go side by side, right? Because they're beginnings. So this is either death of an old relationship and you've decided that you're going to move on and you're not going to reconcile with this person, or it's the rebirth of something that could be very positive. Like I said twice with the Ace, I think that for a lot of you, this is somebody that you almost are over, or that you are over, and you've been dating and maybe have moved on and, met quite a few people, but you've always had them in the back of your mind that if they were to approach you, you would be willing to entertain the idea. And for some of you, you guys got together, broke up, got together, broke up, and you kind of feel like now is the time. So it's very interesting. It almost feels like reconciliation for you is more of the past coming back, and it would be a very positive aspect right now. The next card you have is your distant past, over the past like 5-10 years, could be as early as childhood. And you have the Four of Coins. Coins are pentacles, and the four, I always read the past card together for singles and I'd be looking to reconcile, because it's generally before, these are relationships past. And I always bring it up because I want you to focus on the good that came from the past, and then remember not to get in the bad habits of the past, right? So the Four of Coins is somebody who's miserly, somebody who's very frugal and possessive. And this tells me that either you were in a very possessive relationship. This screams, I don't know if you ever saw the movie The War of the Roses, and I don't even know if I'm pretty sure that's the name of the movie, or it's like they love each other so much, they hate each other so much, and in the end, I think, it's like tragic or whatever. But when I see this in the past position, and I think of the possessiveness, yes, it could be frugality. It could be that you grew up in a home, living in, and you had times where you lived in the car and you didn't know where the next meal was going to come from. And so you focused on never being in that position. So maybe you've gone for men or women who have money, or men or women who have potential to make good money. You want to keep up with the Joneses and have the nice things. And there's nothing wrong with that, because we are, made from our past, and we often either try and change the bad or reciprocate the good, right? And so for some of you, it could be that your relationships have been based on monetary value, or based on finding somebody who could give you something, that maybe you hadn't had before. You watched your parents struggle a lot and you vowed that you wouldn't be there. Or maybe you had a single parent and they dated and you watched things, take a turn for the worst, or you just didn't have those types of things and you swore that you would never put your kids in those situations, etc. But the other thing with this is a possessiveness that is so, it's like at one point you loved somebody so much that it was almost like an obsession. And it was with them too. So I'm not saying that Cancer was like obsessed or possessive about this person. It was a two-way street. So it was like you guys couldn't get enough of each other. But it was like the passion was so deep and so heartfelt that when you broke up, it was that heartbreak, that sick to your stomach, can't get out of bed, that can't breathe, everything hurts. Like it's literally like you can feel your soul was dampened by this breakup. But it was so strong that like when things, when fights happened or whatever, it was just this dramatic chaos because you both felt so deeply. So it's good to find a relationship like that. But it's not good if it's going to, possess you both of your lives, if that makes sense. Like if you break up, you can no longer work. You can no longer take care of the kids. It's good to have a happy medium. But it's very interesting because some of you out there just had this relationship that was so passionate and so powerful, but it was also like draining the life out of you both, if that makes sense. The next card you have is your immediate past. Over the past few weeks, past a month or two, and you have the World. So the World is major arcana along with the Fool. And it's very interesting that they're here, and this is the theme of your month, because the Fool is 0, starting a new chapter, starting again, starting over with the Ace, death, the rebirth, and the World is the end. This is the end of the major arcana, so it's the end of the cycle. So your theme is the beginning, you're starting off beginning, and your past, recent past, is the ending. So the recent past fits swimmingly into this because it's a change, it's a rebirth, it's a death of something, it's a death of the way Cancer feels about love, it's the death of losing the faith and losing the hope, and you now have the rebirth of that. And I just got chills really bad because this is like, it's almost overwhelming seeing this because, right, we all try and start anew. And I think if you're single, you've been trying to start again. And that's what you want, right? You want to find that person, even just to be friends with, and then develop into a relationship and then move on to marriage or whatever the end goal is for you, or what you want. And so I think the hard part is we want it. We say we want it. We think we're doing what we want to get there. We think we're making changes. We think we're going to progress. And then we don't. Sorry, I'm coming down with a cold a little bit, so I may go from sounding plugged up to not sounding plugged up. But the World is a completion. It's a fulfillment. It's a belonging. So all of a sudden, I feel like if you're single, you feel like you belong in love. You feel like you belong with somebody. You feel like you belong with this person who's going to come along, and it's going to be like a bubble, and you're going to be in it, and the two of you are going to be in it, and maybe you guys have kids that you bring to the relationship, or maybe you have pets that you bring to the relationship. Whatever it is, this is you having this, but this is the importance of this World the past few weeks is that you've discovered, Cancer, that you now know love fits you and you're ready for it. This Ace says, bring it on. And this World says, I've completed the cycle of physical lust. I've completed the cycle of letting people treat me like freaking crap. I've treated the site, I've completed the cycle of having the single mentality or not, I'm never going to find anything, losing hope and losing faith. And you're just not going to do it anymore. And you're not going to settle for the being the second fiddle or the grass is always greener. You know what you deserve. You know what you want. And it's like you're finally saying, I belong in love. If you're looking to reconcile, this is a completion of, I think you've had a few completions. Honestly, Cancer, I feel like maybe you've dated, broke that off, dated, broke that off, dated, broke that off, but you've still had this person in the back of your mind. And somehow they're coming back. Something's starting over. They're going to contact you. They're going to ask you to, get back together, or they're going to ask you to at least have a conversation and talk. So this cycle of bad dates, trying to keep busy while all the while this person's been on your mind is going to stop. Now, it may come that you guys go and talk or you chat and you realize, no, it's not for you. And then the first completion will be that you're back in the single life and you're okay with that. The next card you have is your distant future. So over the next few weeks, next few months. So this generally is about 3 months long for the distant future, and you have the Lover. So we can just end the read now. I hope you have a great year. I'm just kidding, or a great beginning of the year. But this is generally like through February or so is when I do the distant future. We're talking over the next few months, and you have the Lover's card. So in essence, you're going to have some beginnings, and then the next 2 or 3 months, the Lovers, which is beautiful, right? And Cancer, I'm kind of happy about this because I feel like the past couple of reads have just been like, we're going in circles. Like it's the same thing and there's no great beginning and you're not fully like feeling vested in love and you're not fully feeling vested in yourself and you need to make changes, and even your mindset has been kind of all over the place. And now to see the Lovers in the distant future is like fantastic because again, but I think it's because you're ready for it. Like it belongs in you. Love belongs on you, Cancer, right now. Like a really nice Armani suit or really nice Dolce dress or something. I'm not really big into designers, so I could have totally just mucked that up. But just love looks good on you right now, Cancer. And I think you know that and you're starting to feel it. And if you haven't felt that yet, give it a week or two, because I'm sure people are going to start messaging me. I don't feel it. I don't know who you're talking about. I don't have faith in love. I get it, right? But then I have people who message me saying, I don't understand. Nothing ever happened. And I'm like, because like ultimately I could talk and talk and talk, but if you don't have that faith, hope, and inspiration, and you're not putting that in the universe, you're not going to get it back. And yeah, you know what? We all go through periods where we're like, screw this. I'm tired of this. Whatever. Like, don't feed me a line. But then we all have these times that are magnanimous. So do we want to ensue a position of feeling fantastic? Or do we want to continue to take a nosedive into the woe is me's? It's up to you. But the Lovers being here is beautiful. This is love, caring, it's duality. Finding somebody who has the same values, the same morals, the same, they're encompassing everything you want and you're encompassing everything they want. There's not really much more to say. I mean, the card says it all, right? But Cancer, I think it's beautiful and I think it's time. If you're looking to reconcile, I really strongly believe that this is somebody that you've had in the back of your mind. It's not, yes, some of you may have been pondering over this person, but I feel like you were on the cusp of like getting over this person. You were just like there and getting over them, and not that you weren't over them, because I feel like you were dating and you had already kind of completed the cycle of knowing that there's a possibility you'd never get back together with them, but they're coming in, Cancer. They're back. The Lovers are back. So it's a positive thing if that's something that you want to entertain if you're looking to reconcile.